Okay, so buckle up, listeners, because today we're doing a deep dive into a topic that's sending ripples through, well, pretty much everything. It's AI in education.
Big topic, right?
Huge. And we're lucky enough to have you here to unpack it all.
Happy to be here.
We're diving deep into this World Economic Forum report, Shaping the Future of Learning, the role of AI in Education 4.0.
Catch ya, right.
Definitely grabs your attention. It's April 2024 when this report drops, and it doesn't pull any punches. It paints a pretty stark picture of the global education system. And get this, it's not just about what's happening in classrooms.
Not even close.
This report goes big picture, linking these educational challenges to economic stability, workforce readiness. I mean, are we talking about the fate of, like, humanity here?
Well, maybe not humanity's fate, but it's definitely high stakes. The report frames these as global challenges with global implications, and they hit on something they call gaps in the system.
Gaps, huh? Sounds ominous, like beware the gap.
Maybe not that dramatic. But seriously, they identify three major gaps, and the first one is a biggie, the global teacher shortage.
Okay, yeah, we've all heard about this, but what's the report saying?
It's worse than you might think. They're projecting a need for 44 million more teachers by 2030. 44 million, just to keep up with basic educational needs.
That's a lot, like a whole lot of teachers.
It is. And here's why you should care. Teacher quality is directly linked to how well students learn. So this shortage, it's not just a numbers problem, it's a quality of education problem.
And that affects, well, everyone.
Exactly. Okay, ready for gap number two?
Hit me. What else is keeping educators up at night?
The report calls it the administrative and assessment gap. Catchy, right? Basically, teachers are drowning in paperwork.
Ugh, paperwork. The ultimate soul crusher.
Tell me about it. But think about it. Less time on paperwork means less time for actual teaching.
Less time for creating those engaging, inspiring learning experiences.
Exactly. And that brings us to gap number three, the digital skills gap.
Okay, so this is about students not being tech savvy enough.
That's part of it, but it's bigger than that. The report emphasizes that students today, they're graduating into a workforce that's being transformed by technology, especially AI, and they don't have the skills to thrive.
Which impacts, you guessed it, all of us.
The report really emphasizes that this isn't just about kids needing to know how to code, it's about them understanding AI itself, like how it works, its implications.
Right. AI literacy. Because this stuff is shaping our world. We're talking about the future of work, the economy.
Exactly. And this report doesn't sugarcoat it. It's a bit of a wake-up call. We've got work to do.
So we've laid out the challenges, painted a pretty bleak picture, actually. But this report isn't all doom and gloom, right? There's a potential silver lining.
Right. And that's where things get really interesting. Because this report doesn't just highlight the problems. They dive headfirst into how AI could actually help solve them.
Okay, so less Skynet, more like AI to the rescue.
Exactly. The report even uses this phrase, Education 4.0. And it's all about how AI could completely change how we think about learning and teaching.
Education 4.0 sounds kind of catchy, but what does that actually even mean?
It's basically a big shift. Instead of those old-school one-size-fits-all models of education, we're talking about personalized learning powered by, you guessed it, AI.
Okay, so AI steps in to help bridge those gaps we were talking about. Be the hero education didn't know it needed.
It could be. And the report lays out some really compelling ways that could actually work. Let's start with that teacher shortage, the big one. Imagine if we could take some of those tedious tasks off teachers' plates.
You mean like grading those endless stacks of papers?
Exactly. Grading, lesson planning, even some of that administrative work that bogs them down. This report suggests that AI could handle a lot of that. In fact, they cite studies saying teachers spend something like 40% of their time on tasks that could be automated.
40%? Are you serious? That's like almost half their time.
It's huge. Think about it. If you free up that much time, teachers can focus on what they're actually good at, connecting with students, fostering critical thinking, being that inspiring mentor.
So it's not about replacing teachers. It's about giving them superpowers. I like it.
Exactly. And that's a point the report really drives home. This isn't about AI versus teachers. It's about AI empowering teachers. It's a partnership.
I can get behind that. But what about assessments? That's like the ultimate source of stress in education, am I right? Those big standardized tests.
The worst.
Yeah.
But the report suggests that AI could completely change how we think about assessment. Instead of those big, scary tests, we're talking about continuous personalized feedback.
Okay, paint me a picture. What does that look like in a real classroom?
Imagine a student's working on an assignment, right? And as they're working, AI is providing feedback in real time. It flags grammar mistakes, suggests different ways to structure an argument, even picks up on things like tone and style.
It's like having a personal tutor looking over your shoulder, only, not creepy.
Exactly. And because it's AI, it can personalize that feedback based on the student's individual strengths and weaknesses. It becomes less about passing or failing and more about actually learning and improving.
Okay, so that's super helpful, but what about those digital skills? Because it's not just about using AI, it's about understanding it, right? Like how this stuff actually works.
You're preaching to the choir, and that's a huge part of what the report is advocating for. They even highlight specific programs that are already doing this.
Okay, give me an example. What's working?
So there's this program in Australia, Grok Academy. They're doing amazing things with AI education, specifically for cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity and AI, two birds, one stone.
They're using AI to create these super engaging, hands-on learning experiences. It's not just about the technical skills either. They're teaching kids how to think critically about AI, the ethics of it all.
That's so crucial. We're talking about building the architects of the future here.
Right. And that's what's so exciting about this whole Education 4.0 thing. It's not just about using AI, it's about shaping how AI shapes the world.
We're getting philosophical now.
It's hard not to. This is big picture stuff, and this report really does a great job of laying it all out.
So much to unpack here, but I'm dying to know, are there any real classrooms using this stuff? Like, is this actually happening, or is it all still in the future of education file?
Oh, it's definitely happening. The report highlights some really cool case studies, real-world examples of AI in action. Like, have you heard about those accessible digital textbooks UNICEF is working on?
Vaguely. They're supposed to make learning more accessible, right, for students
Oh,
with disabilities.
exactly. These textbooks use AI to personalize the learning experience. So think text-to-speech, sign language videos embedded right into the text, even audio descriptions of images for visually impaired students.
Wow, that's amazing. Talk about using technology to level the playing field so AI can make things more inclusive. What other examples really jumped out at you?
Well, remember how we were talking about personalized feedback? The report talks about this program in Brazil called Letras. They're using AI to give students real-time feedback on their writing.
Oh, right, right. It's like having a writing coach on call 24/7.
Pretty much. And it's all powered by AI. As students type, the program analyzes their work, grammar, style, even the structure of their arguments, and it offers suggestions for improvement.
That's wild. It's like having your own personal editor. No more waiting for feedback, just constant improvement. Are there programs out there tackling that digital skills gap, getting students ready for the AI-powered world?
Definitely. In fact, the report highlights Grok Academy in Australia. They're doing really innovative work prepping students for careers in cybersecurity, which, as you can imagine, is a field that's only going to grow more important.
Especially with AI becoming more prevalent. It's like a whole new world of digital threats to worry about.
Exactly. And Grok Academy gets that. They're using AI not just to teach cybersecurity skills, but also to help students understand AI itself, the ethics, the implications, all of it.
So it's not just about learning how to use AI, it's about shaping how it's used. That's a big responsibility.
It is, and it's on all of us. This report really underscores the fact that we're at this incredible turning point. AI is going to transform education, there's no doubt about it. But how it transforms it, that's up to us.
That's a powerful thought. And a perfect place to wrap things up. We've covered a lot of ground today, the challenges facing education, the incredible potential of AI, and the importance of approaching these technologies thoughtfully and ethically.
It's a conversation that's only going to become more important.
Absolutely. To our listeners, we want to leave you with this. How will you shape the future of learning? How will you use your knowledge, your skills, your voice to ensure that AI benefits everyone? It's a big question, but an important one. And we believe in you. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.